to ask now, who is this God? Who is this Creator? That's an important question, and it needs a real answer. The answers that we come with have got to be testable. The answers have to be testable. You have to test it. You cannot just say, oh, I heard somebody say, and then just take that. That's not proof. It's not really faith. It's kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid to think that you would just take it. Somebody told you, just do it, no problem. If you're driving down the street and you say, well, I don't know what to do here. There's a big red light in front of me. Maybe I should stop. Nah, don't worry about it. Just drive through it. Well, but I heard that if you drive through a red light, you'll be in big trouble. Nah, don't worry about it. Well, could you give me some reassurance? Sure, I told you don't worry about it. What more do you want than that? Duh. What will happen? At least you'll get a ticket. Maybe you'll have an accident. You have to use your brain and think. What's testable evidence? And I'm going to try to share that with you right now. A lot of the people who don't believe, especially those who try to teach the theory of this evolution, will always come up to this point and say that if I don't see it, if I don't hear it, if I don't smell it, if I don't taste it, if I don't feel it, if I can't imagine it, it doesn't exist. It doesn't follow the laws of testable evidence of science. But yet I ask you a question. Aren't there things that pass by us every day that we can't see? Aren't there things that you cannot see? Or can you see everything? Of course not. You can't see because you don't have telescope vision. You don't have microscope vision. You're just looking at what you're used to looking at. But between you and I right now, there's a lot of air that's full of a lot of things that you can't see it and I can't see it. But it's there. Yes or no? Yeah. And what about sounds? You say, oh, what do you mean? How about animals? Don't dogs have a hearing range better than humans? Dogs hear things we don't hear. Isn't that true? Of course, sometimes we hear dogs all night long too, but that's a different story. I'm just saying, think. Use your brain. There are things out there that our senses don't perceive, but it doesn't mean they don't exist. Isn't that true? And it's kind of foolish when you consider that somebody would sit on a railroad track and say there's no train. And you say, man, there's a train coming. Do you see the track? He said, I never saw a track before. I'm going to stay right here. It's a nice place for me to camp. You say, this is a railroad track. You see those two rails? He said, those are handrails for midgets. You say, no, they're not. Those are the rails for the track. The wheels of the train are going to go. He said, what wheels? What are you talking about? This is a railroad track. Do you see the cross ties? Do you see these boards? A train is coming. He said, I don't see it. Therefore, there's no train. You say, listen, there's a curve right up there on the other side of that hill. In a few minutes, at 12 o'clock, the train always comes from there. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. You understand me? He said, I don't believe you. Listen to me. Listen. You're going to feel it because the ground is going to rumble. Then you're going to hear it because it's going to go woo-woo like that. And then you're going to see a big yellow light right on the front of it. And then if you don't get off this track, you're going to really feel it. And sure enough, the ground begins to rumble like that. You tell him you feel that? He said it's an earthquake. You say, man. Then, woo-woo. Say, you hear it? He said, that's an owl. Look, turn around and look. Do you see it? He said, I'm not going to fool you anymore. I'm just going to stand right here. Just turn around and look. It's right there. He said, I don't believe you. And besides, he said, I have my own religion. In my religion, if I don't hear it, and I don't see it, and I don't feel it, and I don't smell it, if I just tune it out, it's not there. I just, whoop, and it's gone. Well, you better get off the railroad track because he's fixing to whoop and be gone. So we use our common sense and we realize that there is proof that there's a God. Who is the God? Let's use some real testable evidence. The one who created us is smarter than us. acknowledge that immediately, because we cannot create life and He can. He's more compassionate than us. That we don't even have to get into. But for sure, He has the design of the whole universe, and we can't even design one molecule. We cannot create a single protein of life. Not even a single molecule of protein can be created by our scientists in their laboratories. They can't. The random chance of it coming together boggles your mind. You can't even estimate. There's not a computer big enough to figure out what the random chance is for accidentally bringing the elements together to create one protein. Think about that. Now I'm going to mention a couple of other points, and then I want to go to the main point. Suppose that you took a tomato seed and cut it open and looked inside. Suppose you took an acorn from a big tree and cut it open and looked inside. Do you see little plants, little trees in there? Of course not. What's in there? Nothing. You open it up and there's nothing in it. But you put it in the ground and you cover it up and you get it wet, what will happen? Most likely it will grow. Yes? And by the way, you don't have to worry about whether or not you put it upside down or right side up. You say, I don't want my tree to grow with the roots coming up, you know, and the plant going down, so I have to see which way is up. You're laughing. I'm telling you, this is common sense. Something is... What, has that got a computer in it? Has it got a compass in it? How do plants know how to get out of the ground? What makes them grow? Think about it. Think about it. And why, when we have so much proof, would some people still deny? So much proof, and they still deny it. Who is this Creator? Well, for sure, one of the things that we can begin to think about is, this must be some kind of test that we're in. Why? Well, we've just figured out there's a Creator, but we can't see Him. We can't hear Him. We can't smell Him or taste Him or feel Him. So He must be hiding. He must be hiding from us. But why? Why? And Islam gives us the answer to that right away. Because this creation is a place for us to go through a test to see if we'll obey Him or obey our own desires. But for those who really believe in Him, who want to be close to Him, who would like to be in the next life with Him, then they will submit to Him on His terms. And you say, how do you draw that kind of a conclusion? You kind of jump the gun here. We're out here in the pasture playing with seeds, and the next thing I know, you're preaching a message to me. Well, I want you to think about this. You are intelligent. You were smart enough to get here all by yourself. You're smart enough to come in and sit down and listen, and you figured out most of what I said so far, even though it is in Texas English. Figure this. Nobody in this room has seen God. Never. Didn't hear Him. Didn't smell Him. Didn't taste Him. Didn't feel Him. Oh, you might have good feelings about God, and I do too. But you didn't reach out here and grab anything. So therefore, God is in the unseen, or in Arabic, al-ghayb. That's where He is. Why? Why? And if He wants us to know, obviously He could let us know, couldn't He? Because He created us. It's easy for Him. Why didn't He let us know? And if He's going to let us know, how will He do it? Well, what He has done is to send people from amongst ourselves to us, called prophets. And these people have impeccable character. They're the very best of the very best of us. And they come to us, and they warn us, and they deliver the message. Many, many hundreds of them, thousands. Over 124,000 messengers